For years, audiences tuned in to watch Marty Meierotto live, a life that seemed almost impossible in the modern world. Deep in the Alaskan wilderness, far away from crowded cities and everyday comforts, he built a reputation as someone calm, skilled, and deeply connected to nature. Viewers admired the quiet confidence he carried while flying small planes into remote areas, checking trap lines during brutal winters, and surviving conditions most people could hardly imagine facing for a single day. He never appeared interested in fame or attention, which only made people respect him even more. Over time, Marty became more than just a television personality. To many fans, he represented resilience, independence, and a disappearing way of life built on patience and hard work. That is why his departure from the series surprised so many people. One season he was there, continuing the routines audiences had come to expect, and then suddenly he was gone. Fans searched for explanations, hoping for a simple answer, but the truth behind his exit turned out to be much deeper and far more personal than anyone first realized. His story became less about television and more about understanding what truly matters in life. A sudden silence on television. When familiar faces disappear from long-running television shows, audiences naturally begin asking questions. That reaction became especially strong when Marty Meierotto quietly stepped away from Mountain Men without much explanation at first. Fans noticed his absence immediately because his presence had become such an important part of the series. He brought authenticity to the program in a way viewers trusted completely. Unlike exaggerated reality television personalities, Marty came across as thoughtful, practical, and genuine. His calm personality balanced the harshness of the wilderness around him, creating moments that felt honest instead of dramatic for entertainment. As episodes continued without him, social media discussions grew rapidly. Some viewers believed he was simply retiring after years of difficult work. Others wondered whether health concerns or production conflicts had forced him away. Because there was very little public information available in the beginning, speculation spread quickly. Yet beneath all the rumors was something much simpler. People truly cared about him. Audiences had spent years inviting his story into their homes, and suddenly losing that connection created disappointment many did not expect to feel so strongly. His absence left a noticeable emptiness within the show itself. Life beyond the television screen. Television often presents wilderness life in a way that feels adventurous and exciting, but the reality behind those images is far more demanding. Marty Meierotto eventually explained that living in remote Alaska was never easy, even before cameras arrived. Everyday survival required constant physical effort, careful planning, and total awareness of the environment. Harsh weather, isolation, and dangerous terrain were part of ordinary life. Once filming became involved, however, the pressure increased in ways viewers could never fully see on screen. Production schedules added another layer of difficulty to an already exhausting lifestyle. Scenes sometimes required additional setup, repeated actions, or longer exposure to freezing temperatures, while camera crews captured footage from different angles. What looked smooth and natural on television often involved hours of extra work behind the scenes. Marty later admitted that balancing real wilderness survival with the demands of filming slowly became overwhelming. He understood that television needed compelling moments, but nature does not operate according to production timelines. Over time, he realized that the lifestyle being presented to audiences was becoming harder to sustain safely. That understanding eventually forced him to reconsider whether continuing the show was worth the physical and emotional cost. The weight of extreme conditions. The Alaskan wilderness is beautiful, but beauty in such places often exists beside genuine danger. Marty spent years operating in environments where temperatures could become life-threatening within minutes. Simple tasks became exhausting under those conditions. Equipment failed unexpectedly, travel became risky, and even small mistakes carried serious consequences. Unlike ordinary outdoor experiences, remote Alaskan living requires complete mental focus every day because help is often far away. Marty flew his own bush plane into isolated areas where weather changes could quickly turn manageable flights into dangerous situations. He checked trap lines across long distances and spent extended periods alone in unforgiving terrain. For many years, he accepted those challenges as part of the life he loved, yet no person can continuously push physical and mental limits forever without consequences. Marty later described how exhaustion began lingering longer than before. Recovery became slower, and the warning signs from his body became harder to ignore. Age was not the only factor. The combination of wilderness survival and television production had created a level of stress that kept building season after season. Eventually, he recognized that continuing down the same path could place him in unnecessary danger, and that realization changed everything. Fame was never the goal. One reason audiences connected so strongly with Marty Meierotto was because he never seemed interested in celebrity culture. Even while appearing on a successful television series, he remained focused on the same values he had long before cameras entered his life. He valued hard work, simplicity, privacy, and self-reliance far more than public attention. While many reality television personalities actively seek fame, Marty appeared almost uncomfortable with it at times. That authenticity became part of his appeal. Viewers trusted him because he did not appear to be performing for the audience. He simply lived the way he always had, and cameras happened to document it. As the show grew more popular, however, the public attention increased significantly. Fans recognized him everywhere. Online discussions followed his every appearance, and expectations around the series became larger each season. Although he appreciated the support from viewers, fame itself never brought him lasting satisfaction. The things he cared about most remained deeply personal: his family, his wilderness lifestyle, and the freedom to live quietly on his own terms. Over time, the attention surrounding the show began feeling less rewarding and more distracting from the life he truly valued. Leaving television allowed him to reclaim that sense of balance again. The reality behind wilderness television. Many viewers imagine reality television as completely natural and unscripted, but producing a successful series requires significant planning and coordination behind the scenes. Marty Meierotto eventually revealed that filming mountain men involved far more pressure than audiences realized. Production crews needed enough footage to build compelling episodes, which meant long filming days and repeated situations that added stress to already difficult conditions. Certain moments that would normally happen quickly in real life sometimes took much longer because cameras needed to capture them properly. That delay could become exhausting when temperatures were dangerously cold or weather conditions were changing rapidly. Marty understood the importance of storytelling for television, but he also recognized how different filmed wilderness living could become from practical wilderness living. In remote environments, efficiency and safety usually come first. Television, however, also requires emotion, tension, and dramatic visuals. Balancing those priorities became increasingly difficult over time. Marty never blamed the show entirely for his decision, but he admitted the constant pressure slowly changed the rhythm of his life. Instead of simply responding naturally to the wilderness, he often had to think about filming schedules and audience expectations as well. Eventually, that balance no longer felt sustainable for him personally. Rumors that spread among fans. Whenever public figures disappear suddenly from television, rumors tend to spread quickly, especially when audiences feel emotionally connected to them. After Marty left Mountain Men, countless theories began circulating online. Some fans feared he was dealing with serious health problems because they noticed subtle changes in his appearance during later seasons. Others believed conflicts behind the scenes had forced him off the show. A few rumors became so dramatic they sounded almost fictional, yet they still traveled across social media because people desperately wanted answers. Without clear information available immediately, speculation filled the empty space. Fan groups discussed every detail they could remember from previous episodes, searching for clues that might explain his departure. What made the situation unusual was how emotional the reactions became. People were not discussing a fictional character leaving a scripted drama. They were talking about someone they genuinely admired and respected. Marty represented a lifestyle many viewers found inspiring, and losing that familiar presence created disappointment that felt surprisingly personal for longtime fans. Eventually, Marty himself addressed many of the rumors by speaking honestly about his reasons for leaving. His explanations were simpler and more human than the dramatic stories spreading online, which made them even more meaningful. Built by the outdoors, long before television audiences knew his name, Marty Meierotto was already developing the skills that would later define his public image. Growing up in Wisconsin, he spent much of his childhood learning about nature, trapping, and outdoor survival from his father. These early experiences shaped the foundation of his character. Instead of seeing the wilderness as something frightening, Marty learned to respect it and understand it carefully. He developed patience, observation skills, and a deep appreciation for self-sufficiency. Those lessons remained with him throughout his entire life. As he grew older, ordinary routines and predictable lifestyles never fully satisfied him because he wanted something more connected to the natural world. Eventually, he made the life-changing decision to move to Alaska while still young. That move was not an adventure planned for temporary excitement. It was a serious commitment to living differently from most people. Alaska challenged him in ways Wisconsin never could. The environment was larger, colder, and far more unforgiving. Marty spent years building cabins, learning remote terrain, improving trapping skills, and adapting to extreme conditions. By the time television producers discovered him, he had already created a life based entirely on independence and experience, rather than fame or public recognition, returning to a simpler life. After leaving Mountain Men, Marty Meierotto did not pursue the kind of opportunities many reality television personalities often chase. He did not attempt to remain constantly visible through interviews, social media campaigns, or entertainment appearances. Instead, he chose something far quieter and more personal. He returned to the lifestyle he valued before fame entered his world. The wilderness remained part of his daily life, but now he experienced it without cameras documenting every moment. His trap lines, cabin, and remote surroundings belonged fully to him again rather than serving as television content. That return to simplicity seemed to bring him peace. Instead of focusing on public attention, Marty concentrated on family, outdoor life, and the routines that always made him happiest. Many fans respected this decision because it felt completely consistent with the person they believed him to be all along. He had never appeared interested in celebrity culture, so stepping away from it entirely made sense. His story became a reminder that success does not always mean staying visible forever. Sometimes real success means recognizing when enough is enough and choosing a quieter, healthier path instead. Marty's life after television reflected the same independence and self-awareness that defined him during his years on screen. The challenge of aging in harsh conditions. One reality Marty Meierotto eventually faced was that even the strongest and most experienced people cannot ignore aging forever. Living in extreme wilderness environments demands tremendous physical energy every single day. Tasks such as hauling equipment, maintaining cabins, checking trap lines, and surviving severe winter conditions become increasingly difficult over time. Marty had spent decades pushing his body through physically demanding situations, first as a smoke jumper and later through his Alaskan trapping lifestyle. While he remained highly capable, he also understood that recovery becomes slower with age. Injuries take longer to heal, exhaustion lasts longer, and dangerous situations become less forgiving. Marty spoke honestly about recognizing those changes instead of pretending they did not exist. That honesty impressed many fans because it showed maturity rather than weakness. He was not abandoning the lifestyle he loved entirely. Instead, he was adjusting his priorities before circumstances forced him to do so unexpectedly. Many people continue dangerous routines too long because they struggle to accept change. Marty chose a different path by listening carefully to the signals his body was giving him. His decision reflected wisdom developed through decades of experience rather than fear or surrender. Respect for nature never changed. Throughout his time on Mountain Men, one thing remained consistent about Marty Meierotto: his deep respect for nature. He never treated the wilderness like an enemy to conquer or a stage designed purely for entertainment. Instead, he approached it with humility and understanding. He knew nature could provide beauty, peace, and freedom, but he also understood it demanded caution and responsibility. That perspective separated him from many survival personalities who focus mostly on danger or dramatic challenges. Marty often emphasized patience, preparation, and learning from the environment instead of trying to dominate it. His trapping lifestyle reflected old traditions built on careful observation and respect for wildlife. Even after leaving television, those values remained central to his identity. Fans appreciated this attitude because it felt genuine and thoughtful rather than exaggerated for ratings. In many ways, Marty represented a quieter form of strength based on knowledge instead of bravado. His relationship with the outdoors became one of the most meaningful parts of his story. Audiences were not simply watching someone survive in difficult conditions, they were watching someone who truly belonged there, someone who understood the wilderness deeply and never forgot the responsibility that came with living inside it. Why viewers trusted him. Reality television often struggles with authenticity because audiences quickly recognize when personalities feel exaggerated or artificial. Marty Meierotto stood out because viewers trusted him almost immediately. He spoke calmly, avoided unnecessary drama, and rarely appeared interested in impressing anyone. His actions felt natural because they were grounded in real experience rather than performance. Whether repairing equipment, flying into remote areas, or discussing wilderness survival, he carried himself with quiet confidence instead of arrogance. That sincerity created a strong connection between him and the audience. People believed what they saw because Marty never seemed to be pretending. Even during tense situations, he remained thoughtful and composed. In a television environment where loud personalities often dominate attention, his calm presence felt refreshing. Fans also respected the honesty with which he eventually discussed his departure from the series. Instead of creating dramatic stories or blaming others, he explained his reasons clearly and realistically. He spoke about exhaustion, family priorities, and understanding his limits. Those explanations felt believable because they matched the person viewers had watched for years. Marty's authenticity became the foundation of his popularity, and it remains one of the main reasons audiences continue respecting him long after his television career ended. The emotional cost of isolation. Although many viewers admired Marty Meierotto's remote lifestyle, isolation carries emotional challenges that television cannot always fully capture. Spending long periods alone in harsh environments requires mental strength as much as physical endurance. Days can become repetitive, weather can create intense stress, and distance from family gradually takes a psychological toll. Marty was deeply comfortable in wilderness settings, but that does not mean isolation was always easy. Over time, extended absences from home became harder to ignore. While audiences saw exciting moments on screen, they did not always see the loneliness and exhaustion that existed between those scenes. Filming schedules sometimes extended those separations even longer, increasing emotional pressure. Marty eventually recognized that maintaining close family relationships required more presence in daily life. He wanted to spend less time isolated in remote camps and more time sharing experiences with the people who mattered most to him. That realization became especially important as his daughter grew older. The emotional side of wilderness living is often overlooked because physical survival attracts more attention, yet emotional well-being matters just as much. Marty's decision to step away reflected not only physical concerns but also a desire for stronger connection, balance, and personal fulfillment beyond television fame. Lessons hidden inside his story. Marty Meierotto's journey offers lessons that extend far beyond wilderness survival or reality television. One of the most important lessons is the value of recognizing personal limits before serious consequences force change unexpectedly. Society often celebrates people who continue pushing themselves endlessly, but Marty demonstrated a different kind of strength, the courage to step back thoughtfully when necessary. He understood that protecting health, relationships, and peace of mind mattered more than continuing to chase public attention. His story also highlights the importance of authenticity in a world filled with performance and image building. Marty earned respect not because he tried to become famous, but because he remained true to himself, regardless of the cameras around him. Another lesson involves balance. Passion and hard work are meaningful, but they should not consume every part of life at the expense of family and well-being. Marty eventually realized that the life he wanted most was not necessarily the life television rewarded most heavily. Instead of allowing outside expectations to control his future, he made choices based on his own values. That honesty resonated deeply with audiences because many people struggle with similar questions about priorities, pressure, and what truly creates lasting happiness. A different kind of success. In entertainment culture, success is often measured through visibility, money, or popularity. Marty Meierotto's story challenges those ideas by presenting a very different definition of achievement. Although mountain men brought him recognition and loyal fans around the world, he never appeared interested in building a celebrity lifestyle. His greatest satisfaction came from living independently, spending time in nature, and sharing meaningful experiences with family. When he eventually walked away from television, he did so willingly even though many viewers hoped he would stay. That decision revealed something important about his character. Marty valued personal peace more than public attention. Many people continue careers they no longer enjoy because leaving feels risky or difficult. Marty chose honesty instead. He recognized that real success meant living according to his own priorities rather than meeting external expectations forever. Fans respected him for making that difficult choice because it reflected the same integrity they admired throughout his years on television. In many ways, leaving the show strengthened his legacy rather than weakening it. He remained true to himself until the very end. That consistency turned him from simply a television personality into someone audiences genuinely respected as a person. The legacy he left behind. Even after stepping away from Mountain Men, Marty Meierotto continues influencing viewers who admired his lifestyle and mindset. His years on television introduced audiences to a form of wilderness living rarely seen in modern entertainment. More importantly, he demonstrated values that resonated far beyond trapping or survival skills. Hard work, patience, humility, self-reliance, and respect for nature became central themes of his story. Fans often describe him as someone who reminded them of simpler and more grounded ways of living. His calm personality offered a contrast to fast-paced modern culture, which may explain why audiences connected with him so strongly. Marty also inspired many people to spend more time outdoors, learn practical skills, or appreciate the natural world differently. Although he no longer appears regularly on television, the impact of his story remains powerful. Viewers continue discussing favorite moments, sharing clips online, and reflecting on the lessons his experiences taught them. Unlike many reality television figures who fade quickly from public memory, Marty left behind something more lasting because his appeal was built on authenticity rather than temporary entertainment trends. His legacy continues not through constant publicity, but through the respect audiences still feel for him today. The truth behind his departure. In the end, the truth behind Marty Meierotto's departure from Mountain Men was neither scandalous nor mysterious. It was the story of a hardworking man honestly evaluating his life and deciding what mattered most. Years spent surviving harsh conditions, balancing filming pressures, and risking physical exhaustion eventually led him to understand that continuing indefinitely no longer made sense. He valued family, health, and personal peace more than remaining on television. That choice may have disappointed fans initially, but it also revealed the same wisdom and authenticity that made audiences admire him from the beginning. Marty never tried to create dramatic headlines or sensational explanations. Instead, he spoke quietly and truthfully about the realities behind wilderness life and the toll it can take over time. His departure became meaningful not because of shocking secrets, but because it reflected something deeply human, the need to recognize when priorities change. Rather than chasing fame endlessly, he chose a quieter life, centered on the people and values he cared about most. For many viewers, that decision only increased their respect for him. Marty Meierotto's story ultimately became less about leaving television and more about returning to the life he always truly wanted,